So I'm going to show you how to do vaginal mapping here. A lot of this work is influenced by one of my mentors, Tammy Lynn Kent, of the book Wild Feminine, where she does spend a lot of time talking about being able to do mapping in this area in your pelvic floor. So I want to be able to show a very quick and general way that you can do this on your own. So here I have my pelvic model, and I'm just going to bring it up a little bit closer. And so just starting off with the bony structures, with your pubic bone, you have your sits bones, and then you have your tailbone back here. So that is one way just to kind of orient yourself as to where you're at. And you would be inserting your finger into the vaginal opening. And I like to think of this space, the pubic bone, as 12 o'clock, and then tailbone is 6 o'clock, and then you have 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So if we're looking kind of like in a clockwise direction. And so with inserting your finger in, and you would want to enter in probably at least about a finger, a knuckle to a knuckle and a half deep. So you want to actually get into the pelvic bowl muscles so you can actually press and feel for that. And I will be providing another video on what generally healthy pelvic floor tissue should feel like. But when you insert your finger in, then you can start off at the actually not necessarily at the 12 o'clock, because that's where your urethra is, so where the bladder comes out and then forms a tube, the urethra, and that can be pretty sensitive. I would say the same thing going down to 6 o'clock, because that's where your rectum is, and that can also be really sensitive. So you're going to be on either side of your rectum or of your urethra, and you're going to feel for what you just notice what you feel. So you will definitely feel for the pubic bone and feel for the arch. And so you're just going to press around those areas, and then you can go all the way to the 3 o'clock position. You'll feel for different layers of pelvic floor muscles. You don't have to worry about what the names of them are or where they're supposed to be oriented. A lot of it is just to get a sense as to what things feel like and how does it feel for you. Is it painful? Is it tender? Do you have a sense of numbness as well, or you just not feel anything? Then you'll go all the way down to about like 5 o'clock position. Again, you can gently press the rectum, but you're not going to press directly hard on it. Go to the other side, then go all the way back up to 6, and then, or sorry, all the way up to 9, and then back up towards 12. And then you want to write down some of the things that you noticed. So you can mention, from the 12 o'clock to the 3 o'clock position, you had a lot of tenderness. You can mention that maybe things felt a little bit tight. Afterwards, so you can keep your finger inserted in the vaginal opening, and then you can do a pelvic floor contraction. So you'll actually will squeeze around your finger, and so that will help to determine what is the level of strength that's present. Does it feel symmetrical? I like to do this with my patients, that not only am I, assessing for strength with my finger, straight in the center, but I'm also looking at all 4 different quadrants. So in the right upper, or the upper, the lower, left, upper, and lower. And you can do the same thing as well too. You're just going to be on the edges of the bone, and you'll just do a normal squeeze and just notice, does it feel symmetrical? Like, does the squeeze that you do on the right side, does it feel like the same on the left? Does the squeeze that you do up here on this upper half, your genital triangle, does that feel equal to what you're feeling in the anal triangle? And so you'll write that down. And so then as you're working with a pelvic PT, as you're working with a pelvic specialist, a pelvic OT, who's helping to guide you around doing some of this work, you have a better sense of what's going on in this area, because a lot of this is very much unseen. So being able to create a map can be really, really helpful, and you have a guide in place to help you while you're doing some of this self-treatment work on yourself. So give it a try, and definitely feel free to reach out if you do have questions.